Hey everybody, Michael McGillicuddy here with Natural Law on the Move. Did you hear I revved the engine there? Because we're going places, and natural law will be our guide. I'm going to explain what natural law is in a future video, but basically it's the law of karma, the law of you reap what you sow, and that's why things are getting worse here, because people don't know what kind of seeds they're actually planting. They think they do, but they're like Steve Brule when somebody tries to explain something to them and they say, I know. And they really don't know. So that's that. Anyway, we're going to talk about today something called moral relativism. Moral relativism. Now what that means is that the laws of morality, or what is actually right and what is actually wrong, can change. Wow, that's very convenient. That's very cool. I mean, the laws of physics can't change. My car can't decide to just start floating and drive without touching the ground, or I can't decide to I don't know. Yeah, I could go on a million words. But basically, the laws of physics don't change, right? So neither do the laws of metaphysics, or what is actually right and wrong, or morality. I guess that's not really metaphysics, that's ethics. The laws of ethics don't change, my bad. Okay. But if you ask a lot of people think that they do change. It's amazing. And when they change is when they want them to change. Well, that's amazing. I guess when they want them to, 2 + 2 = 6. Yeah, they can float up in the air if they want to. But yeah, if you really drill down to a lot of people, what they actually believe is right or wrong, they cannot define it because it's not black and white. It's gray. But basically, in my experience, what it's boiled down to is whatever they decide to do is a good thing, and whatever they don't do is a bad thing. And anything they do is good, and everything they don't do is bad. That's the law of right and wrong. Incorrect. There is a difference between a right action and a wrong action. Why is this guy going so slow? And we've covered that in previous videos. But basically, oh my God, this guy's so slow. Maybe he's having car trouble. Okay, anyway. The difference, as we've seen, between a right action and a wrong action is any action that results in harm to another sentient being is wrong. Any action which does not result in harm to another sentient being is right. Those are your rights to do. Okay, so let's cover moral relativism, because most people don't have this clear in their head. Okay, so here's an example. It's that the laws of right and wrong can change. Here's an example. In 1920 or so, till about 1935, the substance known as alcohol, a very dangerous drug in reality, but something that's consumed all the time by everybody, and we're still standing, but that was illegal, and you get locked in a cage if you are drinking that drug. If you are drinking alcohol in any form whatsoever, you need to be locked in a cage. What you are doing is wrong, morally wrong, according to the laws of the state. However, in 1910 and in 1940 afterwards, it's right. How does that work? It's the same action, but for 15 years it was bad. You can't do it. And then after 15 years, it's okay. See how crazy that is? Imagine, I don't know, forget imagining. Just be real. It's wrong. It's stupid to believe in moral relativism. Here's another one. 2019, there were a bunch of protests by brave people in Hong Kong against an evil, corrupt, disgusting communist government. And a lot of people wore masks over their face to protect their identity, because they would disappear in many cases if the evil people in the government and their stupid mind-controlled order followers found out who they were. They would disappear in Hong Kong. So wearing a mask became illegal in Hong Kong. Oh, but then a year later, wearing a mask not only is legal, if you don't wear a mask, it's illegal. Isn't that funny how that changes? That's another example of moral relativism. What is it? Is it right or is it wrong? In reality, yeah, wearing a mask is fine. You can wear it whenever you want. It's your body. You can do whatever you want with it. You own your body, unless you're a psychopath. Then your body belongs to them, which is what a few people believe, and a lot of idiots go along with it. Okay, so that's a second example of moral relativism. A third, speed limit. I think before the 1970s on the highways here, there were no speed limits. You could drive your car as fast as you want. Just don't hurt anybody. Makes sense to me. And there probably weren't that many accidents. I mean, you don't hear horror stories from my parents or grandparents. Oh, it was so bad. It's just like, yeah, people went fast if they wanted to, and some people drove slow, like old ladies. Anyway, so it's okay to drive your car as fast as you want. And then after the 1970s, oh no, you can't go more than 55. That's a bad thing now. You're going to get locked up in a cage called jail, or have your money stolen from you. That's extortion. If you do that thing. But it was okay before. What changed? Oh, it's complicated. It's really not that complicated. But they try and make it that way. Nope, in reality, driving your car however fast you want is your right to do. Just don't aggress against other people or, hurt anybody, and yeah. And I mean, really, speed limits don't do anything except make people more nervous about getting pulled over. People go as fast as they want, and everything works out pretty well. You know what I mean? If you want a really safe speed limit, 5 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour, max. Other than that, too risky. Think of the children. I saw 3 people get in an accident in 1 million people. 3 of them hit each other. We need tighter controls. Control. All right, that won't work though. We'll get into that a little bit later, how control just produces more confusion and chaos rather than order. Okay, so that's moral relativism. Basically the same action being right and good at one time or in one place, and then wrong in a different place or at a different time. But here's one law that never changes, and that is the natural law. It is immoral, and always has been and always will be, to initiate violence or aggression against a peaceful person. It is always, 100% of the time, immoral to initiate violence or aggression against a peaceful person. It's called the non-aggression principle, and it's valid in all places of the world, actually the universe, at all times and in all situations. If you initiate violence against a peaceful person, you are a bad person. You have done an immoral, you're a bad person, you've done an immoral action. If you stop doing that, then you become a good person, I guess, or you take good actions. But yeah, the non-aggression principle never changes, and that's what. But people who really don't want to be held accountable for their action, which unfortunately is a vast majority of the people here on this planet, they want to do whatever they want and justify it and say, well, but the non-aggression principle is something that never changes. And ask yourself, I mean, in school we probably learned, well, it depends. There's 2 sides to every coin. But really, there's not. And people fight me so hard on this. If I bring up the non-aggression principle, they bring up such stupid things like, but what if there's a dam and there's only one road to the dam and the dam's about to burst and you're going down the mountain because you gotta warn everybody, and then there's somebody who's blocking the road with his big truck and he won't move. Surely you can beat him up, right? And it's like, oh my God, 1, that never happens, and 2, just tell him, yeah, move, there's a big dam. I mean, I'm not even gonna say what to do. I mean, you'll know what to do if that situation ever happens to you, but it's so stupid. People come up with the dumbest reasons because they enjoy using violence against other people, and they don't want to admit that, yeah, actually I'm doing a bad thing. Nope, no, sometimes there's always exceptions to the rule. Nope, not this one. Just like the laws of physics, there are no exceptions to the rules. Sometimes we can discover more about the rules, but they never really change, I guess. They just need to be discovered. And I've discovered it, and now watching this video, so have you. In truth, the laws of right and wrong do not change ever for any reason. They are always in effect. And if you're a moral relativist, which unfortunately a lot of people are because they've been conditioned into it and taught that it's actually the right thing, which it's not, or correct thing, which it's not, then you are incorrect. You've been taught a bad thing, and now it's time for you to come into the light, say the 3 hardest words for most people to say, and they're not, where's the bathroom? It's not even I love you, it's I was wrong. But most people cannot say those words because they're trapped in ego, and their ego won't let them be wrong. They can never be wrong, no. I'm sure you know a few people like that. Maybe you might even know somebody pretty well like that at times. Okay, so that's that. That's the difference between a right action and a wrong action. Oh wait, sorry, I got a little confused there. That's the difference. That's what moral relativism is. It's tough to make these videos sometimes when I'm driving. but I like doing it too. It's a good time to do it. So moral relativism, basically, the laws of morality, like the laws of physics, don't change for any reason or under any circumstances whatsoever. They always are in effect, always will be in effect, and they never change for any circumstances whatsoever. And just one last thing, I thought of this before I started this video. If you think, well, no, sometimes, okay, let's have salary relativism for your salary, because Albert Einstein said that, there's theory of relativity, so I can do whatever I want, and there's no real right or wrong, right? That makes no sense. And if you think it does, well, okay, tell your boss then should be able to have your salary be relative, and then for some reason it's half as much, and you'll be like, oh, okay, and then you go into his office and he says, yeah, actually there's a guy named Albert Einstein and he wrote the theory of relativity, which said there's no fixed position in the universe, and who knows, we might find that's not true. There's no fixed position in the universe, therefore you get paid half as much. And then you'd be like, oh, makes sense to me. Okay, no problem. No, I don't think you would do that. And the same thing for a right action and a wrong action. The right action and wrong action do not change for any reason whatsoever. So that's that. This is Natural Law on the Move. See you in the next video.